We're almost good. Quickly. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Matt. No problem. Thank you. I was out with Saga and I was like, I want to attach it right now. He's like, what do you want? And I was like, 2 trying. I love music. Christopher is famous. Self, and I was taking photos of yourself. Self. I ran. That's like good, okay? Secondary black and white, 4x6.
What's that? Okay. Alicia, do you want to give instruction? Yes, she's going to do make sure you stand up. So when you and then you're going to turn to the camera, like make sure you're facing this way, you turn this way, and walk back to this way. Okay?
Seriously. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sheridan's commemoration of the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. My name is Jeff Sabudsky, and I'm the president of Sheridan. Whether you're here in the lobby or watching this ceremony being live streamed from another campus, I'd like to start by thanking all of you for giving up 20 minutes of your time today to mark what is a solemn and important occasion. Gender-based violence has no room at Sheridan or anywhere in our society. As president of a growing community of over 18,000 students and 2,500 employees, it's an issue that concerns me deeply. As a husband and a father of 3 girls myself, it's also an issue that I care about personally. Today we gather to remember 14 young women who were murdered in 1989 at École Polytechnique de Montréal simply because of their gender. And while 25 years have passed since this senseless tragedy shook our nation, more women and children continue to be violent each year, despite increased education, information, and awareness. In Canada today, more than 1 in 10 women say that they've been stalked by someone that they've been feared for their life. Half of all women have experienced at least one incident of physical or sexual violence since the age of 16. And rates of violence increase among women with a disability, Aboriginal women, and newcomers and immigrant women in Canada. Today, we think about all of the women and children who live daily with the threat of violence or who have died as a result of deliberate acts of violence. I'd now like to ask Kelly Martins from the Performing Arts Preparation Program to present our first reading. It's a deeply personal poem called Help Me that captures one woman's experience of a life marred by violence.
Little red boots pioneering through the snow. Crunch, crunch, jump. Straight up and down makes the letter H. Step, jump, jump. To the last letter P. The last plea. Help me, cries a 6-year-old girl, playing in the snow on a dark frozen lake. No one can see. Maybe I'm free and I'll fall in at the end of me. The uncertainty of my fate is reflected in the eyes of the one who torments me. Like broken ice revealing the cold water below, I see into the danger of his tormented soul. It is his reach for me that leads me to my plea. Crunch, crunch. Nobody's coming. Nobody is going to help me. Reluctantly, I head home, further into my pain, and my little red boots carry my shame.
Thank you, Kelly. At this point, we'd like to pay tribute to the 14 engineering students who were murdered in Montreal because they were women. As I read out the names of the victims of the tragedy on December 6, 1989, I invite our student representatives and one of the staff members from our Aboriginal Initiatives Office to lay a white rose next to each of the photos. For those of you watching this event at the central viewing locations at our other campuses, we have hosts on site who will be handing out roses so that you can participate as well. Geneviève Bergeron. Hélène Colgan. Nathalie Proto. Barbara Daigneault. Anne-Marie Edward. Maud Haviernik. Maryse Laganière. Maurice Leclerc. Anne-Marie Lemay. Sonia Peltier. Michel Richard. Annie Saint Arnaud. Annie Turcott. Barbara Kluchnik-Vidayevich. Please join me in a moment of silence to remember the victims whose lives were tragically cut short. These tributes will stay in place for the remainder of the day, but please know that any time of the year, we all have the opportunity to pause and reflect. When this skate building was opened in 2000, a peace garden was built on our front lawn to serve as a lasting memorial to the 14 victims of the Montreal Massacre. A similar peace garden exists at Davis, at the center of campus near the edge of the pond. I'd now like to call upon Ron Gonzalez, also from our Performing Arts Prep program, to present our second reading. This piece, called Yes, I'll Stay, was written by Patrick Molichard-Chartier, a graduate of Sheridan's early childhood education program. It eloquently describes one person's account of supporting someone in need.
I'll hold your hand harder if it eases your mind. I'll give you release from this troublesome time. We hurt together when you're battered. Hold on, I'll lift you up. I'll stand up when you're knocked down. I'll get you through this spell. I'll remove the weight from your shoulders. You have carried it well. I'll root you out from that spurred place and help you ditch your shame, back at that place as it is devoured by flames. I'll follow the tracks of your tears as if they're all I know. Fears. It's about time we let them go. I'm not here for sweet talk. I'm here for time. Time to find peace and ease of mind. Hate hurts us all. We can all heal with time. Hold on and squeeze my hand a little harder. Hold on when the rain is tumbling down and your heart is hurting. You and I will stand together. I'll always be around. This you can count on for certain.
Thank you, Ron. As much as today provides us with the opportunity to remember the worst tragedy on a post-secondary campus in Canadian history, it's also a time to talk about what more can be done to end violence in all its forms. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about some of the initiatives at Sheridan to diminish the risk of violent acts and to create an even more inclusive and respectful environment. Security is something we take very seriously at Sheridan. As much as it can be unpleasant to practice lockdown drills, we make this an annual priority and hope that we never have to use the lessons we learned from the exercise. In the wake of a number of sexual assaults on or near our campuses in the last year, we've installed additional cameras and lighting on our wooded trails and increased our security patrols. We've also renewed our commitment to the Safe Walk program, and we continue to make it a priority to share details of the incidents to warn our community. Despite our best intentions, violent acts still do occur. At Sheridan, we've been working to redraft our student code of conduct to explicitly mention sexual assault as an offense that will be reprimanded. We're creating an accompanying procedure that defines sexual assault, provides clear instructions for victims about how to get help and what type of support is available, and outlines the responsibility of those within Sheridan to guide victims through their ordeals. Our Dean of Students, Maria Lucido Besley, has joined a province-wide task force to develop a standalone policy on sexual assault that all colleges in Ontario will use. The policy will aim to coordinate the supports that are available and make them more visible to students. I'd also like to take the opportunity to announce that early in 2015, Sheridan will launch its first ever online anonymous survey about gender and sexual diversity. This survey is for each and every member of our community. It will help us to identify any gaps that may exist and provide us with evidence to inform and enhance our efforts to create an inclusive and respectful environment. As I said at the outset, violence in any form has no place at Sheridan. And it's not enough to put the burden on potential victims to resist assault or attack. We must all use our voices and actions to promote gender equality and send the message that violence cannot be tolerated. Because you are here today, you are taking an important first step to stand up for what is right. to say enough already and to help stop violence against women. Creating healthy relationships and peaceful communities starts with being respectful towards women and girls, because sexism hurts us all. Never using force, threats, or violence in our relationships. Challenging or speaking out against hurtful language, sexist jokes, or bullying. Learning about the impact of violence against women in our community, and wearing a white ribbon to show our support. If you would like to demonstrate your commitment to building a future without violence, I encourage you. You can also make a pledge and tell the world what you will do to challenge the behaviors that lead to violence by using the printed cards that we have at all of our viewing locations. These cards will be collected by the Sheridan Student Union and creatively displayed at their offices. You can also share your pledge on social media through your own Facebook page or via Twitter or Instagram, and use hashtags like End the Violence or All Lives Matter. In just a few moments, we're going to organize a group photo here at Skate. You may have noticed the tape on the floor when you arrived in the shape of a white ribbon. Once our ceremony is over, I'd like to ask anyone who wishes to be involved to find a spot to stand on the tape so we can take an aerial photo of our human ribbon. Thank you to everyone here for joining us, and all those who are viewing. Thanks for joining us today, especially our readers, Kelly and Ron, and to all of our rose bearers. Tomorrow, flags will be lowered to half-staff at all of our campuses in honor of the 14 women whose lives we have commemorated today. Our collective efforts help to send a strong signal that the Sheridan community does not tolerate violence. I thank you again for coming, and I wish you all a good day. Thank you.
In front, yep. You good?